right, thank you for joining. So today I wanted to go over TAO, USDT, on the Bybit chart. So I've never charted this project before, as you can see. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. So like always, I like to start on the high time frames. So let's go to the monthly. See if there's any key levels here that we can mark out. As we can see here, we do have a monthly level right there. Untested monthly open. Let's go down to the weekly. This weekly's already been tested. It's been tested. Let's have one right down here. So this is pretty much just going to be like an in-depth analysis, just analyzing exactly where I would be looking for a long or short setup on TAO, USDT, right? So weekly, not too many levels. Everything's already been tapped or tested. Can go ahead and put the weekly open up here, just as reference. Let's go down to the daily. Now this candle wick here pretty much wiped out all the daily levels, took all the liquidity above this level here, right? So since that liquidity has already been grabbed, no more important levels besides the all-time high. Just something to keep in mind. So I'll put a little swing failure pattern up there. Continuing with the daily, let's go ahead and see here. So we do have a daily level down here. We have another daily level here. We also have a daily level right above the monthly, which is really nice confluence. And we also have one down here. Now on the way up, yep, they have all been tested. All right, so right away I can see that we have this trend going up. And this is actually a bearish pattern, right? So unless you get some extremely high bullish volume to push price up and go straight through, typically what happens when you see this pattern, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches, is on the 5th touch, price will usually start to break down and you'll start trading a little bit lower, right? Now, one thing to keep in mind is that we want to then look for some supply and demand zones. So if I was just to go to the weekly, just so we can see things a little bit more clear. As you can see, this was resistance, this was resistance. Actually, let me just go to the daily level. You'll notice that this is actually a support zone, right? Price came down, tested this area, bounced as support, bounced again. Bounce one more time before failing and eventually flipping this resistance, this support, into resistance. Right. So is there any other support and resistance zones that's important? I do see one right here. Resistance, support. Now there is one down here too as well, which is where price did bounce. I kind of like this a little bit better, right? Because you have resistance, resistance, support. Tried to trade above, failed auction. Resistance, resistance. Traded below another level, came back up, paused before impulsing higher and back testing this area as support. So if we do begin to trade below this level, then a few targets below would obviously be the daily, but the more interesting one would be this daily here, which also lines up with this demand zone, which is where buyers step in, right? So I'm actually expecting a breakdown from this level on TAO before then testing this daily and support zone. Now next up, we can see if we have any other patterns, right? So you can, let's see here, possibly pull the channel here. Right, like that. Let's just see what's going on here. Yeah, so there is a possibility we can come down and just continue higher, right? When you see it in this kind of parallel channel, you'll see it a lot better once you go down to the lower time frames, right? So you have the 4 hour, as you can see, a couple pivot points. The center has been respected, and now it looks like it's trying to break down out of this ascending wedge. And if so, we might find support at this daily level. If it does not, then down here is definitely the area to look for a long setup. But I wouldn't be interested in a short unless we come back to the all-time highs and we start to sweep those levels, right? Grab some liquidity. So, right, something like that, right? Which could turn out to be a nice trade, 40% short, if price does manage to come all the way back down to this level. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we have any interesting volume areas. Right. Value area high, price is at right now. A little bit bearish because that means we also had the 4 hour close below the value area high, so that is acceptance. And if we can't begin to trade above 614, 615, then yeah, the rotation to the point of control, which also lines up with this liquidity level down here, does seem to be pretty valid. And depending how long this does take, it could be something quick, which would be preferred because then it would still technically be inside this channel if we get a dump sooner than later. Let's see how last week's price action is looking. All right, so based on last week's price action, we are still above the value area low. So you really do not want to lose this value area low, because if you do a second time, then there's no doubt in my mind we will come down to around $562. That will be a little bit more bearish. Let's see something here. Do have a point of control here too as well. Untested value below. All right, not much really going on with that. So the good news is we are trading back inside the value area low of the previous week, and we are still keeping this ascending wedge trend line as support. So very key area right here. If we break down below, then I'm actually expecting this level. To be honest, I wouldn't even be expecting this level to hold much. It might because of the channel, but I'm expecting this $498 range low to be tested, right? And then that's where it would be a nice area to enter a long setup. Now I am doing this request because of someone left in the comments a project they would like me to go over, and that's what I'm doing. So if there's any other projects you'd like me to go over, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will do my best to getting around to doing that chart on a timely basis, right? So let's see here. All right, go back to the daily. Just see if there's any interesting patterns that we can just pull. All right, so from the high, you can see the 50% is coming in right there. It's just a strange angle. Don't really like it much. Right, so the 50% retracement of this entire channel also lands in right there at the supply demand zone. So this is what I'm saying, that is a very key area, right? So if this level does not hold up, for sure my next level of entry would be down here. So I don't really even need, I mean, it's good to keep this on, but you don't really need this channel anymore. Just want to see if this wedge holds. If this wedge does get lost, then we know where the next targets are. Let's see here. Now this as well is another range, so let's go ahead and just see what's going on here. All right, so from here to, let's just go from here to here. Value area low, point of control, as you can see, acted as major resistance. So I'm just looking at the volume for this upper range right here, right? So this range, I wanted to check the volume to see where the point of control is, value area high and value area low. And as you can see, you'll see exactly how important these levels are. Because once I start to mark this out like so, value area high, just like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and put the value area low right here. Then you can see how price respects these levels, right? Point of control. What am I doing? Yeah, there we go. All right. So as you can see, right? Value area high. Well, it's actually the value area low. So the value area low of that previous range. Right? So price came up, as you can see, tapped the resistance, right, which is supply. Also tested the value area low of that previous range, broke through, went right up to the point of control. Look at this exact test of the point of control, rejected, came back again, tried to trade above, was rejected one more time. But this point of control was a very important level, right? And even till now, we've kind of pretty much tested that area one more time. But then look, once you start trading above the point of control, it went right to the value area high, and price was just struggling to close above the value area high. It did one time, but then price came back and traded below it once again. Now this was a failed, I guess you could say it's a failed auction, failed breakout, whatever it is, and then now we are trading back within the value area high of the previous range, also within the value area high of last week's price action. And then as you can see, full rotation happened to the bottom of the value area low of last week. And now, taking the previous range's price action into consideration, price is going to try to attempt, typically, to rotate to the value area low, which from here, you're looking at a, let's see here, additional 20% drop. Now, is that going to happen for sure? Maybe, maybe not. We're not 100% sure. But seeing how this bullish market structure is holding up, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we try to get another attempt, but in my opinion, let's go to the retracement tool. I would kind of expect it to come back up, retest the weekly open, before continuing lower. That's just my guess on what's going to happen here. Kind of something like so. Might even trade in here for a little bit before really making its way down. Now, if Bitcoin goes super bullish and pushes the rest of the market up, then yeah, of course, the next area of interest would be the top of the channel, right? We're just trading ranges here. Maybe we get a push to the upside, swing failure, and then end up coming down and wiping out all of this liquidity, right? There's a lot of stops under here, under here, under here too as well. And now under here, stops are building as well. So if we get a quick move down, it can happen very quickly. We'll probably get a stop here because there's a little high volume node here too as well. And then, yeah, the last stop, as you can see, there's a daily level here, but look at this high volume node too as well. So there's going to be a nice reaction here, and this is really where I'll be interested in taking a long. And then, yes, of course, the short entry definitely would be interested up here. All right, so we'll see how this all plays out. That's pretty much my analysis on TAO USDT. If you like it, like and subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed this analysis. Follow me on X as well. And yeah, leave a comment below if there's any other projects you'd like to see me chart. Take care and have a great day.